Mates, welcome to Where Was That? Today we are in sunny London finding out where the Top Gear lads drove their very cool homemade limousines. You guys might remember this episode. They all went out, chopped up some cars, made some limousines. It was pretty sweet. In this channel, I spend a very normal amount of time finding the exact location of as many shots as possible, so you, the awesome viewing public, can find out where that was. Now, in this episode, I'm not going to cover every single shot, but if you have a look here, I've created a document that has, I think, literally every single shot from the end of the episode where they do the London challenge, or 280 of them. So yeah, if you'd like to check that out, the link is just below, and there's also a map there as well if you want to look at the map version. So yeah, our lads have all built flawless limousines. Nothing could possibly go wrong. So let's bring up the map and have a look at where they all start. So the goal of this episode is that they can all make it to Earl's Court. Earl's Court doesn't actually exist now if we zoom in here. RIP Earl's Court, forever in our hearts. But yeah, they all start ludicrously close. So yeah, what on earth could go wrong? Let's find out each of their journeys and see where exactly they went. Alright, so I'm going to start with Hammond. Now Hammond's shots have a bunch of establishing shots beforehand, so let's have a look at those. So we've got a man in a scooter, lady in the car, lads in front of a sign, all very exciting stuff. A police car, and then some lads standing outside a random doorway. Now, obviously you want to know where that doorway is, so let's find it. So we've got a few little clues here, so let's have a look. The main clue that we have are reflections. So this is Uxbridge Road in Shepherd's Bush. Pretty cool looking area, London. And we go up the road. Now, if you go back to our images, now we've got a few little clues here. So we've got, on the left there you see some yellow, some red. If we go a couple of shots across, we see some green. So this is all critical information. And then in the middle of the shot there, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little bit of gold writing. So here are some clues. So we have all the cool colours and some gold writing. So let's see what we can find as we go up the road. I'm sure me scrolling through Street View, it's very exciting. But let's see if we can find that spot. Okay. Let's go to the correct time. And here we go. So if we zoom in here, we can see some yellow, some red, some green, awesome stuff. You can see some, it doesn't actually look that gold now, but some embossed writing. And yeah, so we're pretty sure this is where the reflection is. And now we just need to figure out where that was reflected from. Which isn't too bad. We scroll up a little bit here. And, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I have done a bit of looking at this. I believe it is the Nando's. The lads outside the Nando's, don't know if they got Nando's, but I know English lads love getting Nando's, so yeah, there we go. Very cool. And let's move on to Hammond's initial pickup. Okay, here he is, outside some cool angled looking houses. Let's have a look at some of these shots. So yeah, outside BMI Records. BMI Records has moved around a bit, but I did find, obviously, the location of the old place. Yeah, Hammond. Looking very suave. What a lovely suit. And here he is getting mocked. Public mocked them quite a lot in this episode. And yeah, here's our first celebrity, Jamelia, coming out. So yeah, let's go back to our initial shot. Now this one's not too hard because we can just look up where BMI used to exist. And yeah, we found it. Here is the sign here. Here's a man taking off a bag. And here are our cool houses. So that was pretty easy. So if we jump back to our map, we can see this is the initial starting point over here. Hammond with the phone stuck to his head. Alright, so now Hammond is on the move. So we have a little corner here. I've just included this because it's good for finding out the general route that he went on. Let's have a look at the street view for this. It's just down Kensington High Street. So let's put that on the map. Alright, so let's do a little bit of janky animation here. I'm just going to drag Hammond down here. So it comes up the A315, Kensington High Street, all the way up to our first street view shot here. One cool thing here, these buildings here are like a museum, and they had a Stanley Kubrick thing that I went to. It was very cool. Alright, so where does he go next? So we can see these turning in. So we have a bunch of shots with Jamelia interacting with the crowd. It's a very open vehicle, so not ideal. Lots of people taking photos. This lovely lady trying to talk to her. And we have this shot, which I really wanted to find because it's just some window frames, and that fascinates me. But yeah, obviously we found it. So we jump into Street View again here. So it is trail finders. These are the travel experts. And yeah, honestly, it's just down the road. If we zoom in here, we can see the Kensington High Street up there. And so some evidence for this maybe. If we zoom right in this little thing, see that little notch in the middle? Damning evidence that this is it. Same kind of window, same everything. So we know this is the spot. So yeah, let's go to the map and bring Hammond down here. So as we said, it is just down the road here. Cool, easy. So our next shots are approaching Earl's Court. We had this quite cool one with the hatching. Hammond scares life out of Jamelia by getting stuck in the middle of the road with oncoming traffic. You want to get stuck in oncoming traffic too, I'm sure. So that one's really easy to find. If we look down here, it's on Earl's Court Road. You can see Hammond is he's just nailing this. He's going directly to the place. Very good sense of direction. It's really cool. Anyway, this is the hatch intersection we saw there. So that one's really easy. So let's move Hammond down even further. So coming down here, we can actually see it if we zoom in a bit here. There we go. We'll put it in the exact right spot. Alright, so next up there, we have a couple more shots, but essentially what happens is Hammond just drives straight there. Like, it's a very simple route, very direct. Alright, so I'll show you where he went. So all the way down Earl's Court Road, down this other road here, and there's a little service entrance by this very cool shaped hotel thing here, which they went into, and then into Earl's Court, coming up the left-hand side in a service road, and bam, this is where they all end up here. So congratulations, Hammond, you nailed it. Now the only other thing I wanted to show you with Hammond is where he parked up afterwards, because that's just interesting to me. So we've got the street view for where he parked up here. It's pretty easy to spot. You can see that sign in the background. Honestly, it's just around the corner. None of this is that clever. And he drives up this road and boom, he's parked. Hammond is done. Nailed it. So let's zoom out and we can see where the other two are. So let's find out where Clarkson went. Okay, cool. So Clarkson starts down here near the river. And if we zoom in here, we can see it's like a little hotel or something like that. So let's have a look at our shots. Pulling up, I love Clarkson's car. You see he's chopped like 8 foot off of it, it's still really, really long. I think it's the coolest one of the three. Cool, so we see Chris Moore's coming out here. Coming out the hotel, here's Clarkson looking very excited. Clarkson makes some great faces. And here's Chris Moore's getting into the vehicle, which I thought was quite cool. If you've ever seen The Great Escape, you know that Top Gear lad's quite a big fan of it. And it's sort of a reference to that film. Or just the practicality, I don't know. Anyway, this one's super easy to find. It's just by the river, and here's the hotel. And we can see a little garden area where he came out here. Cool, so now where does he go after that? Let's have a look at some shots. Okay, so we have this one here. Now, you see that cool little building in the background with the circular little eyes on it? That's quite unique. We've got a domino as well in an intersection, so let's have a look at these. Cool, we can see like an old pub in the background. We can see very distinct building here with little spires and him getting stuck, of course. And yeah, back to the start. So let's have a look at this location. It's just an intersection not too far off where we started. So if you zoom in here, we can see that weird building with the eyes. And on the left here, we can see that very spiry, cool old building. So Clarkson came down here, up the 217. And around this little corner here, up here. You can see some of these shots in the document to confirm his route. And then came around here to that intersection. Cool, so we can see that he's getting close to Earl's. Surely can't be long to go. So yeah, there are a bunch of shots where Clarkson is getting stuck on his route. You can see one here hitting a traffic pole. He says this route is to demonstrate the genius of his car, which, yeah, very genius indeed. We can look at a few of them here. Getting stuck, and then parking up and getting some snacks. Now, I know you want to get snacks, so let's find out where this snack location was. So this one's a little difficult. It's hard to nail down exactly which area it was. But we have a look at our shots. So we have a little yellow shop on the left there with glass written on it. And if we jump back to our street view, we can see that while the siding has changed, it is still a glass shop. And we can see the other shop here for London traffic cars, which I think is a good enough match. We can see the door has that unique hatching on top of it, just like in here. Which leads me to believe that Akshar News was the dairy. Now, it doesn't look one-to-one. We cannot see our beers, wine, and spirit sticker. But one thing I want to know is look at the bottom of this image. See the, what do you call it, frosting? The frosting has a band, a gap, and then it begins again. And if we have a look in Street View, in this old footage here is from 2008, at this little corner of Akshar's shop, we see a band of frosting, a gap, and then continued frosting. This is all the evidence I need to just blindly say on the internet that this is the place. So if you want beers, wines, and spirits, go to Akshar News, although I believe it is now a Stop and Shop. So yeah, let's follow Clarkson's route there. So yeah, Clarkson comes around the corner, down this road along here, down to this building. We can see if we zoom in. Here are a couple of where he gets stuck. He gets very stuck on Munster Road here. Now he comes up here, turns left. Now he knows this is the exact street. Comes down here. I believe he's going to get stuck again in this bend, but it was too wide, so he did not get stuck. And down onto Fulham Place Road. And he comes around the corner, and the dairy is really easy to find. It's just here by the C-shaped building. Awesome. So where does he go next? But just while we're here, I just want to note this cool little blue car here. I thought for a second it was an Enzo. I don't think it is actually an Enzo, but cool nonetheless. So now it's getting dark. You notice a transition from night to day throughout this episode for each person. I was going to do this cool thing where I tracked what time it was, but I didn't. So apologies for that. So here he is getting stuck outside a gas station. So he's basically just gone up Fulham Palace Road. And here's the intersection here with the gas station. Then he comes to this big intersection here where he gets stuck with a bus. What a palaver, trying to negotiate with the bus. And then we have my favourite sign of this whole thing, which is beds, 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 beds. Obviously the only place to get beds in London. Very busy store. So we've got a few clues as to where this intersection is. It's not actually too hard to find. So we've got a Paddy Power in the back there. We've got some cool striped buildings. Beds, beds, beds. And yeah, we can kind of see that it's a double roundabout. And yeah, here it is. I have to jump immediately to the beds. Let's have a look if it's still the place to get beds. No. It's a tattoo place now. ROP beds. But yeah, it's pretty easy to know it's this place. We can turn around here and we can also see the Paddy Power. So yeah, let's find out where that is. So yeah, Clarkson comes down here, down at A3218, up this road. And here is our double roundabout here. Now if you have a look, he's getting very close to Earl's Court. Will he make it? It's looking optimistic. Cool, now last of the shots nearby, you can see him on the phone. It looks like he has like one eye open in this shot. It was a weird face. And boom, his car is falling apart. Not great, but let's find out where his car fell apart. So we can see on the right hand side there an H for hotel. Although I might have my NATO alphabet very wrong. So this one's super easy to find because we already know that it's almost Earl's Court. And there's Hotel Lily here, which is right beside Earl's Court. So Clarkson just zooms all the way up here to the same service entrance that Hammond used by the cool hotel. And then there's a couple of shots of Chris looking very scared. Why is Chris so scared? It's because he just drove the car out the back of it after it's splitting, which I thought was hilarious. So this one's in the service road of Earl's Court because I don't think they could illegally have done that on London public roads. But anyway, this draws a conclusion for Clarkson, comes in here, up the service road, and drops off Chris. Then I know that after that, he goes and parks up with Hammond over here. Cool, so we're looking good. We've got 2 people dropped off at Earl's Court. We're absolutely nailing this. Now we just have May. And obviously, May lives in London, so he knows exactly where he's going. Alright, so let's have a look at May's pickup spot here. And see a few shots. Combing is here. May has awesome hair. And here is Lamar. Lamar looking very happy to have this very efficient ride to his awards. And see a few clues here. So we've got, obviously we're outside a hotel. You can see a couple of details here. My Hotel. I don't think My Hotel is still a thing. And here we can see that May has already broken down. So yeah, let's find this My Hotel. And it's right here. So this is old footage, 2008, but we can see it here. We know it's this. We can see little flower pots and the signs and everything. So, and the double yellow line where he broke down. Right, now here is this shot. Now, for you London people, I think you already know what's going on. That on the left is Harrods. Very cool shot. I once bought a copy of Monty Python, The Holy Grail there on DVD. Fun fact for you. So yeah, let's have a look at where Harrods is by following May on the map. So if we zoom out, we can see Earl's is down there. And so yeah, May comes up here, turns into this road here, and then goes right. Going away from Earl's Court. Following these roads. And just up here, outside Harrods. So this is not going well. Also, here's a street view of Harrods, although it's not very remarkable because Harrods is the easiest thing to find in the world. Cool, now next up we have this shot. I wanted to include this shot because if you look on the left, and I don't know how high def you're seeing this or how big your screen is, but we see the word Soho. Soho is not where Earl's Court is. And we've got a bunch of shots here where he gets progressively more lost. Ending with him outside of a pub. May's car is really cool because it's 2 cars sort of joined at the back, which means both ends can steer and navigate through really tight corners. So you see May here asking Lamar to commandeer the rear car, and here's a picture of it here. Now this one is pretty easy to find. You can see the Golden Lion pub in the background, and it is not hard to find a pub in London. So we jump to Street View, here it is right here, easy. But now you're wondering where he is going. So May has continued up here, past Harrods, past Hyde Park, all the way up into Soho. And he comes past Piccadilly Circus that we saw earlier, and the Golden Pub is right here. Now this last shot of these I want to note because this is even further away. They obviously went all the way around the block to do some establishing shots or something. I'm not quite sure how he got there from Soho, but if we go all the way up here, there he is. And we zoom out, he is so far away from Earl's Court now. But yeah, Lamar started complaining, saying he's gone the wrong way, so we now see him heading back. And one of the heading back shots, again, is Harrods. We don't need to find Harrods, Harrods is easy to find. But we can put on the map that he's headed all the way back down here, past Piccadilly Circus, Hyde Park, Buckingham Palace, all the cool London stuff, back to Harrods. So yeah, now we have our final shots. Now, Lamar's getting really angry, and one of the biggest questions I had coming into this was, how far off was May when Lamar got out the car and just made his own way to Earl's Court? And we can answer that, and it's going to take two different shots to kind of prove this. So our first one is here. In the back, we have a sort of a classic English building. I say classic, it's a very poncy one in Fulham. And we've got a few clues. So we have a wall that doesn't really have any windows. We have a little Roman-style pillory door. I don't know what it's actually called. We've got some brickwork that had a long brick, short brick. And then we have a little shed thing on the side with a white square in it. This will all make sense in a second as we go back to where that is. And here it is. Now, this took ages to find. But yeah, if we have a look here, we can see pillory balcony. We can see our little box with a little, apparently it's a yellow square on it. Now if I just do like this, you can see that it is the place. If we go up one, we might be able to see that brickwork. Yeah, we can see here with the short and long bricks. And yeah, this is it. So where is this? Because this is critical to knowing where Lamar got out of the car. So yeah, May head south down here along the A308 or A304. It's kind of confusing which one it is. All the way down to this cool little park. Then he takes a right up towards Earl's Court, and that shot's around here. So we can see that he is actually getting very close to Earl's Court. And then we have our final two shots where he's arguing with Lamar and Lamar gets out. So this one's really hard to find. I included the last shot just so you knew that I had the correct area. I'm going to speculate the exact spot here. So we have like a street light, and you can see right beside his face, there is another face. It's very creepy in the background there. And we take another shot. We can see a car coming out and turning right. So we probably know he is on the one-way system there. And so yeah, I believe this is here. So we have this intersection here where the van came out. A bunch of buildings here where those lights could have been coming from. I spent quite a while trying to match up all the lights and stuff. But yeah, I'm satisfied that this is probably the place. So let's find out where Lamar jumped out. And so he drove up here, parked up, and bam, it is right here. It is right beside Earl's Court. Clearly what they did was they did the getting lost stuff. May came back, Lamar got out, but Lamar got out within walking distance of Earl's Court because all he had to do was walk up the road there and he was there. And that's how that TV magic worked. So yeah, in the end, all celebrities made it to Earl's Court, and that draws an end to the episode. So thank you so much for watching. Down below there's a document that has every single shot listed. Please like and subscribe for more map nerdery, and yeah, have a great day.